The space around Earth looked empty and peaceful on that Tuesday morning. Birds sang in the trees, people went to work, and children played in schoolyards. Nobody knew that death was coming from the stars. Admiral Caxton stood on the bridge of his massive warship, watching the blue planet grow bigger on his screens. He had done this many times before. Find a world with people who did not know about space travel, land on their planet, take their resources, make them slaves. It was simple work. His fleet was huge. 50,000 ships filled the darkness of space. Each ship carried weapons that could destroy cities. Each ship held soldiers ready to fight. The 3rd Imperial Legion had never lost a battle. They had taken over 47 worlds in the last 10 years. "Sir, we are getting close to the planet," said his aide, a young officer named Vex. "Should we send the surrender message?" Caxton smiled. His teeth were sharp and white. "Yes. Let these humans know their time is over. Tell them they have 1 hour to give up, or we will destroy their cities." Deep under a mountain in Colorado, General Jake Morrison sat in a room filled with screens and blinking lights. He had been waiting for this day his whole life. His father had waited. His grandfather had waited. For 200 years, humans had been getting ready for this moment. "Sir, they are here," said the communications officer. 50,000 ships, just like we thought." Morrison nodded. He was a big man with gray hair and calm eyes. "Good. Are all stations ready?" "Yes, sir. Every base is waiting for your orders." Morrison looked at the big screen that showed the alien fleet. They were moving slowly toward Earth, thinking they were safe. They had no idea what was coming. Dr. Lisa Park walked into the room. She was small and smart, with dark hair and glasses. She had spent 20 years studying alien technology. "Jake, all systems are green. We can start whenever you want." "How long until they reach the kill zone?" Morrison asked. 30 minutes, Park replied. "They are moving just like we thought they would. Same formation, same speed, same arrogance." Morrison almost smiled. The aliens thought humans were stupid. They thought Earth was weak. They were about to learn how wrong they were. On the moon, Commander Helen Davis watched the alien ships through her telescope. Her base looked like a simple research station. The aliens would see it and think it was harmless. They would never guess it was really a weapons platform that could destroy 1,000 ships in seconds. "Helen, this is Control," came Morrison's voice through her radio. "Are you ready?" "We have been ready for 50 years, she replied. "Just give us the word." Out in the asteroid belt, Colonel Mike Johnson floated in his mining ship. It looked old and broken, like it could barely fly. But hidden inside were weapons that could cut through alien shields like paper. He had been pretending to mine rocks for 5 years, waiting for this day. "Mike, you there?" Morrison's voice crackled through space. "Right here, boss. My laser is charged and ready to cook some aliens." Near Mars, Captain Ryan Bell sat in his cargo ship. It was big and slow and looked like it could not hurt anyone. The aliens would ignore it completely. They would never know it carried enough firepower to level a city. "Ryan, status report," Morrison said. "All systems good. My crew is ready. We have been waiting our whole lives for this." Back on Earth, Dr. Amy White worked in her space station. It looked like a place where scientists studied stars, but it was really a weapon that could make black holes. She had helped build it with technology taken from crashed alien ships. "Amy, final check," Morrison said. "Gravity generators are online. Quantum computers are ready. We can make their day very bad, very fast." Admiral Caxton watched his screens as his ships moved closer to Earth. He saw the small space station, the mining ships, the research bases. All of them looked weak and helpless. This would be easy. "Sir, should we destroy that space station first?" asked Vex. "Show them our power?" "No," Caxton said. "Let them see our ships first. Let them be afraid. Fear makes surrender easier." He did not know that fear was exactly what the humans wanted him to feel. Very soon, the alien fleet moved into the perfect position. Every ship was exactly where the humans had hoped they would be. Morrison watched the screens and counted down the seconds. "All stations, this is Control," he said into his radio. "Targets are in position. Prepare for engagement." around the solar system. Weapons that had been hidden for decades began to power up. Ships that looked harmless started to change. Bases that seemed peaceful got ready for war. The aliens kept coming. They thought they were hunters about to catch easy prey. They did not know they were walking into a trap that had been set for 200 years. Admiral Caxon opened a channel to broadcast to Earth. His voice was loud and mean. "People of Earth, I am Admiral Caxon of the Zephyrian Empire. Your planet now belongs to us. You have 1 hour to surrender, or we will destroy your cities and take your world by force. Resistance is useless. We have conquered many worlds. You cannot stop us." In the mountain base, Morrison listened to the aliens' threat. Then he smiled for the first time in years. "Dr. Park, send our reply." Park typed on her computer. A message went out to the alien fleet. It was short and simple. Message received. Preparing response. The aliens thought this meant the humans were getting ready to give up. They were wrong. The humans were getting ready to fight, and the universe was about to learn why you should never threaten Earth. The alien fleet moved closer to Earth like a dark cloud covering the stars. Admiral Caxon felt proud as he watched his ships spread out in their attack formation. He had used this same pattern to conquer dozens of worlds. It always worked. "Sir, we are now in range of their planet," said Vex. "Should we begin the attack?" Caxon looked at his screens. He could see the small human space station floating near Earth. It looked so tiny compared to his massive warships. "Not yet. Let them see our power first. Move the first wave forward." 5,000 alien ships moved ahead of the main fleet. Their weapons glowed with deadly energy. Each ship was bigger than a city block and carried enough firepower to destroy a mountain. On the moon, Commander Helen Davis watched through her telescope as the alien ships got closer. Her base looked like a simple research station with a few small buildings and some radio dishes. The aliens would never guess what was really hidden inside. "Control, this is Crater Base," she said into her radio. "The fish are swimming right into our net." "Copy that, Helen," came Morrison's voice. "Hold position. Wait for my signal." Davis looked at her weapons panel. Every light was green. Her mining laser was really a weapon that could punch holes through alien shields. Her crew had been training for this moment for 10 years. Out in the asteroid belt, Colonel Mike Johnson floated in his old mining ship. It looked like junk, with rust spots on the hull and broken parts hanging off the sides. But inside, the most powerful weapons in human history were getting ready to fire. "Johnson here," he said into his radio. "My rock crusher is ready to crush something bigger than rocks." His crew laughed. They had been pretending to mine asteroids for 5 years. Every day they had watched alien ships pass by in the distance. The aliens never paid attention to human mining operations. They thought humans were too stupid to be dangerous. Captain Ryan Bell sat in his cargo ship near Mars. It was big and slow and looked like it could barely fly. The aliens had scanned it twice and decided it was harmless. They were about to learn how wrong they were. "Bell here," he said. "My cargo hold is full of surprises, ready to deliver." His ship was really a weapons platform disguised as a freighter. In the cargo bay, missile tubes waited behind fake walls. The missiles inside could travel at half the speed of light. Nothing in the alien fleet could stop them. Dr. Amy White worked at her controls in the space station near Earth. It looked like a place where scientists studied stars and planets. But hidden inside were machines that could bend space and time. She had helped build them using technology from crashed alien ships. "White here," she said. "Gravity generators are online, ready to show our guests what a real black hole looks like." Admiral Caxon studied his battle screens. His ships were in perfect position. The humans had not fired a single shot. They were probably too scared to fight back. "Sir, their space station is sending out some kind of signal," said his communications officer. "What kind of signal?" Caxon asked. "It looks like they are trying to coordinate something, but it is very weak. Probably just their scientists talking to each other." Caxon laughed. "Scientists. They think their books will save them from our weapons." He did not know that the signal was really a quantum communication network that connected every human base in the solar system. Dr. Park had spent 15 years building it. The aliens could not detect it because it used technology they had never seen before. All stations, this is control, Morrison said through the network. Targets are in position. Begin final preparations. Around the solar system, weapons that had been hidden for decades began to power up. The aliens could not see them because they were shielded by quantum fields that made them look like empty space. On Earth, satellites that looked like weather stations began to move. They were really parts of a giant laser system that could focus the power of the sun into a beam of death. The aliens thought they were just watching clouds and storms. Under the ocean, submarines that looked like research vessels began to surface. They were really mobile weapons platforms that could fire missiles into space. The aliens had no idea they existed. In hidden bases around the world, soldiers put on their armor and checked their weapons. They had been training their whole lives for this battle. Their grandparents had started getting ready for this war before they were even born. "Sir, we are detecting some unusual energy readings," said the alien sensor officer. Caxon looked at his screens, but he only saw the same weak human ships as before. "What kind of energy?" "I am not sure, sir. It might be their power plant starting up, or maybe their computers getting ready to send a surrender message." Caxon nodded. "Good. Fear makes them easier to control." But the energy readings were not, from power plants or computers. They were from weapons charging up, weapons that could destroy entire fleets in seconds. Dr. Park looked at her screens in the mountain base. Every human weapon in the solar system was ready to fire. The aliens were exactly where she had predicted they would be. 200 years of planning was about to pay off. "Jake, we have a perfect setup," she said to Morrison. "All targets are in the kill zone." Morrison looked at the main screen. The alien fleet filled the space around Earth like a swarm of angry insects. But they were insects flying into a spider's web. "All stations, this is control," he said into his radio. "Stand by for engagement. On my mark, light them up." Admiral Caxon gave the order to his first wave of ships. "Begin the attack, destroy that space station. Show these humans what happens when they resist the Empire." The alien ships began to glow as their weapons charged up. Energy beams reached out toward Earth like fingers of death. But the humans were ready. They had been ready for 200 years, and the aliens were about to discover that Earth was not a helpless planet full of primitive people. Earth was a fortress, and the fortress was about to fight back. General Morrison watched the alien ships begin their attack run. Their weapons were charging up, ready to destroy what they thought was a helpless human space station. He had waited his whole life for this moment. "All stations, this is control," he said into his radio. His voice was calm and steady. "Light them up." The words echoed across the solar system through the quantum communication network. Every human base heard them. Every hidden weapon heard them. 200 years of waiting was over. Commander Helen Davis pressed the big red button on her control panel. Her moon base suddenly came alive. The fake research buildings opened up, like flowers, revealing massive weapons inside. What looked like a radio dish was really a particle beam cannon that could cut through starships like a hot knife through butter. "Crater base firing," she said into her radio. A beam of pure energy shot out from the moon. It hit the first alien ship and went right through it. The ship exploded in a ball of fire and metal. Then the beam hit the ship behind it. Then the one behind that. In 3 seconds, Davis had destroyed a dozen enemy ships with one shot. "Holy cow," she whispered. "This thing works even better than we thought." Out in the asteroid belt, Colonel Johnson watched his targets through his scope. 300 alien ships were flying right toward him. They thought his mining ship was harmless junk. They were about to learn better. "Johnson here," he said. "Time to do some real mining." He pressed his firing button. What looked like a mining laser was really a graviton beam weapon. It created a small black hole right in the middle of the alien formation. The black hole lasted only 2 seconds, but that was enough. 50 alien ships got sucked into it and disappeared forever. Scratch. 50 bad guys, Johnson said with a grin. "Who wants some more?" Captain Ryan Bell opened his cargo bay doors. Inside, what looked like cargo containers were really missile launchers. Each missile was the size of a school bus and could travel at half the speed of light. "Bell here," he said. "Special delivery coming up." He fired 12 missiles at once. They shot out of his ship like bullets from a gun. The aliens tried to shoot them down, but the missiles were too fast. Each one hit an alien ship and blew it apart. In 5 seconds, Bell had destroyed 12 enemy vessels. "Package delivered," he said. "Do you want me to send more?" Dr. Amy White activated her gravity generators. The space station that looked like a science lab was really a weapons platform that could control gravity itself. She pointed it at the biggest group of alien ships and turned it on. "White here," she said. "Making some space junk." The gravity generators created a wave of crushing force that rolled through the alien fleet like a tsunami. Ships that got caught in it were squeezed flat like soda cans. Their shields meant nothing against the power of gravity itself. "Wow," White said as she watched 200 alien ships get flattened at once. "I need to write a paper about this." All around Earth, weapons that had been hidden for decades suddenly revealed themselves. Satellites that looked like weather stations fired laser beams that could melt steel. Submarines that looked like research ships launched missiles that could reach orbit in 30 seconds. On Earth, what looked like radio towers were really railgun launchers. They fired metal slugs the size of telephone poles at 10% of light speed. When the slugs hit alien ships, they went through them like bullets through tissue paper. Admiral Caxon watched his fleet get torn apart and could not believe his eyes. His ships were exploding everywhere. His sensors were going crazy. Energy readings were off the charts. "What is happening?" he shouted. "Where are these attacks coming from?" "Sir, we are under attack from everywhere," said his communications officer. "The mining ships are firing at us. The research stations are firing at us. Even the weather satellites are firing at us." "That is impossible," Caxon said. "Those are civilian targets. They should not have weapons." But they did have weapons. Lots of weapons. Weapons that were better than anything the Zephyrian Empire had ever seen. Vex looked at his damage reports. "Sir, we have lost 15,000 ships in the first 30 seconds. Our formation is broken. Our shields are useless against their weapons." Caxon felt cold fear in his stomach. In 40 years of military service, he had never seen anything like this. The humans were not supposed to be able to fight back. They were supposed to be primitive and weak. "All ships, retreat to hyperspace," he ordered. "We need to regroup and figure out what is happening." But when his ships tried to jump to hyperspace, nothing happened. Dr. White's gravity generators were creating space-time distortions that made faster-than-light travel impossible. The alien fleet was trapped. "Sir, we cannot jump to hyperspace," said his navigation officer. "Something is blocking our engines." More human weapons revealed themselves. Asteroid mining platforms that were really weapons factories. Cargo ships that were really destroyers. Research stations that were really battle cruisers. Captain Sarah Murphy appeared on Caxon's screen. Her ship had been invisible until now, hidden by quantum stealth fields that made it look like empty space. "Hello there," she said with a smile. "Welcome to Earth. We have been waiting for you." Her ship fired a spread of quantum torpedoes. They did not just destroy the alien ships they hit. They erased them from reality itself, leaving nothing behind but empty space where the ships used to be. "What kind of weapons are these?" Caxon asked his science officer. "I do not know, sir. They are using technology we have never seen before. Our computers cannot even understand how their weapons work." More human ships appeared out of nowhere. Ships that had been hiding behind quantum cloaks. Ships that had been disguised as space junk. Ships that had been waiting in the shadows for decades. Each human ship was smaller than the alien vessels, but their weapons were incredibly powerful. They fired beams that could cut through anything. They launched missiles that could not be stopped. They created gravity fields that could crush entire squadrons. "Sir, we have now lost 30,000 ships," Vex reported. "More than half our fleet is gone." Caxon looked at the battle display. Red dots showing destroyed alien ships covered the screen like a rash. Only a few green dots remained, showing his surviving vessels. "How long has this battle been going on?" he asked. 3 minutes, sir." 3 minutes. In 3 minutes, the humans had destroyed more than half of the 3rd Imperial Legion. The same fleet that had conquered 47 worlds without losing a single ship. "Sir, incoming transmission from the planet," said his communications officer. "General," Morrison appeared on the screen. He was sitting in his command center looking calm and relaxed. "Admiral Caxon," Morrison said. "I am General Jake Morrison of the Earth Defense Force. We need to talk." Caxon stared at the human general. "What do you want?" "I want you to understand something," Morrison said. "This is not a battle. This is a demonstration. We have been watching your empire for 200 years. We know all about you. We know your tactics, your technology, your weaknesses, and we have been preparing. Around the solar system, even more human weapons powered up. Weapons that had not even been used yet. Weapons that could destroy planets. Weapons that could make stars go supernova. You came here thinking you would find a primitive world," Morrison continued. "You were wrong. You found a fortress, and now you are going to take a message back to your empire." The battle was not over yet, but Admiral Caxon already knew who had won. Admiral Caxon looked at his battle screens and felt sick. Only 5,000 ships were left from his great fleet of 50,000. The humans had destroyed 45,000 warships in less than 4 minutes. His mighty 3rd Imperial Legion was nothing but floating scrap metal. "Sir, more human ships are appearing," said Vex. His voice was shaking with fear. "They are coming from everywhere." Caxon watched as hundreds of new ships materialized around his remaining fleet. They had been invisible, hiding behind some kind of advanced stealth technology. Now they surrounded the alien survivors like wolves around wounded deer. Commander Davis fired her moon-base weapons again. This time she aimed at the alien command ships. Her particle beam cut through 3 massive battleships like they were made of paper. The ships broke apart and exploded in silent flashes of light. "Control, this is Crater Base," she said into her radio. "I am running out of targets up here. These guys are dropping like flies." Colonel Johnson laughed as he watched more alien ships try to escape his gravity weapons. Every time they got close to his position, he created another small black hole. The aliens could not understand how he was doing it. "Johnson here," he said. "I feel like a fisherman with dynamite. This is almost too easy." His mining ship moved through the wreckage of destroyed alien vessels. What had once been proud warships were now just twisted metal and floating debris. The asteroid belt looked like a junkyard. Captain Bell opened fire with his hidden missile launchers again. His cargo ship had enough weapons to destroy a small planet. The aliens kept trying to target him, but his ship looked so harmless, they could not believe it was dangerous. "Bell reporting," he said. "I have fired 200 missiles and I still have 800 left. Should I save some for later?" His missiles streaked through space at incredible speed. Each one found an alien target and destroyed it completely. The aliens tried to shoot the missiles down, but they were too fast and too many. Dr. White increased the power on her gravity generators. She created a wave of twisted spacetime that rolled through the alien fleet like an invisible hammer. Ships caught in the wave were crushed into tiny balls of metal. "White here," she said calmly. "I am getting some very interesting readings on gravitational resonance. This could change our understanding of physics." Even while destroying an alien fleet, she was thinking like a scientist. The battle was giving her new data about how gravity weapons worked. Captain Sarah Murphy and her stealth ships moved through the alien formation like ghosts. Her quantum drive let her ship phase in and out of normal space. She would appear next to an alien ship, fire her weapons, then disappear before they could fight back. "Murphy here," she said. "These aliens have no idea how to fight against phase technology. It is like shooting fish in a barrel." Her torpedo tubes fired quantum weapons that did not just destroy ships. They removed them from reality completely, leaving empty space where the vessels used to be. Admiral Caxon tried to contact his remaining ships, but many of them were not answering. Their crews were dead, or their communication systems were destroyed. His great invasion force was turning into a floating graveyard. "All ships, form defensive positions," he ordered. "Concentrate fire on the largest human vessels." But the alien weapons barely scratched the human ships. Earth technology was centuries ahead of anything the Zephyrian Empire possessed. Their shields absorbed alien energy beams like sponges soaking up water. General Morrison watched the battle from his command, Center. The humans were winning so easily it was almost boring. 200 years of preparation had paid off perfectly. Dr. Park, how long until we finish them off? He asked. Park looked at her computers. At this rate, about 3 more minutes. We could end it faster, but I want to test all our weapon systems. Morrison nodded. This battle was not just about defending Earth. It was about sending a message to every hostile empire in the galaxy. A message that Earth was not to be messed with. More human weapons revealed themselves. What looked like communication satellites began firing laser beams. What seemed to be space telescopes launched guided missiles. Even the International Space Station opened up weapon ports and started shooting. The aliens realized that everything in Earth's solar system was a weapon. Every piece of human technology had been designed to fight. There was no such thing as a peaceful human installation. Sir, we are detecting massive energy buildup from the planet itself, said the alien sensor officer. Caxon looked at his screens. Earth was lighting up like a Christmas tree. Power readings were off the charts. What are they doing down there? I think they are charging some kind of planetary defense system, the officer replied. The energy levels are beyond anything we have ever seen. Deep under the Earth's surface, massive fusion reactors were powering up. They had been built over decades in secret underground facilities. Their power was being focused through a network of quantum amplifiers that could turn starlight into weapons. Dr. Park activated the planetary defense grid. Suddenly, energy beams shot up from locations all over Earth. The beams combined in space to form a single massive laser that could cut planets in half. Park here, she said. Planetary laser is online, ready to demonstrate solar system-level firepower. The giant laser beam swept across the remaining alien ships like a sword made of light. Everything it touched simply vanished. In 5 seconds, it destroyed 1,000 alien vessels. Admiral Caxon watched his fleet disappear and knew his invasion was over. The humans had not just defeated him. They had made his mighty fleet look like toys being broken by children. Sir, we are the only ship left, said Vex quietly. Caxon looked around his bridge. His proud flagship was damaged and burning. Half his crew was dead. His weapons were offline. His engines were failing. Sir, incoming message from the human planet, said his communications officer. General Morrison appeared on the screen again. Behind him, Dr. Park and other human officers were working at their computers. They looked calm and relaxed, like they had just finished an easy training exercise. Admiral Caxon, Morrison said, your invasion is over. Your fleet is destroyed, but I'm going to let you live. Caxon could not speak. He stared at the human general with a mixture of fear and confusion. You are going to take a message back to your empire, Morrison continued. You are going to tell them what happened here. You are going to warn them never to threaten Earth again. Around Caxon's ship, human vessels moved into position. They could have destroyed his flagship easily, but they were letting him live on purpose. They wanted him to escape. They wanted him to spread the word about Earth's power. We know about all the worlds your empire has conquered, Morrison said. We know about all the people you have enslaved. That is going to stop. Right now. Caxon finally found his voice. You cannot stop the entire Zephyrian Empire. We have millions of ships, billions of soldiers. Morrison smiled. Admiral, what you just saw was only our local defense force. Wait until you see what we have been building in the rest of the galaxy. The human general's words sent ice through Caxon's veins. If this was just Earth's local defense, how powerful was humanity's real military? He was about to find out. General Morrison stood up from his command chair and walked toward the main screen. Admiral Caxon's damaged ship floated alone in space, surrounded by the wreckage of his once mighty fleet. 49,999 alien ships had been destroyed in 8 minutes. Admiral Caxon, Morrison said, his voice calm but firm. I am going to board your ship. We need to have a talk. 20 minutes later, Morrison walked through the airlock of the alien flagship. He wore a simple military uniform and carried no weapons. Behind him came Dr. Park, Commander Davis, and Colonel Johnson. They looked like tourists visiting a museum, not conquerors boarding an enemy ship. Admiral Caxon met them in his bridge. His uniform was torn and burned. His face showed shock and fear. This proud warrior who had conquered 47 worlds now looked like a broken old man. "Sit down," Morrison said, pointing to a chair. "We have a lot to discuss." Caxon sat down slowly. Around him, his surviving crew members stared at the humans with wide eyes. They could not believe these small, quiet people had just destroyed the 3rd Imperial Legion. Dr. Park opened a portable computer and began typing. "Admiral, we are going to download some information to your ship's computers. This data will explain exactly what happened here today." "What kind of information?" Caxon asked quietly. "Everything," Park replied. "Video recordings of the battle, technical specifications of our weapons, evidence that we have been watching your empire for 200 years. She pressed a button. Terabytes of data flowed into the alien ship's computers. Battle footage showing human weapons destroying alien ships, detailed plans of Earth's defense network, intelligence reports about Zephyrian military operations dating back decades. "How?" Caxon whispered. "How did you know we were coming?" Morrison smiled. "Admiral, we have known about your empire since before you were born. In 1947, one of your scout ships crashed in our desert. We studied it. We learned from it. We have been preparing ever since." Commander Davis activated her tablet. "We have been monitoring your communications for 50 years. We know about every world you have conquered. We know about every battle you have fought. We know your tactics better than you do." Colonel Johnson laughed. "You guys are predictable. Same formation every time, same attack pattern, same arrogance. It made planning our defense really easy." Caxon looked confused. "But your technology, your weapons, they are impossible. How? Do you have gravity weapons? How do you have quantum torpedoes?" "We learned from you," Morrison said. "Every time one of your ships crashed on a planet, we were there to study the wreckage. Every time you left technology behind, we improved on it. You have been our teachers for 2 centuries. Dr. Park showed Caxon a holographic display. It showed the solar system, but not as the aliens had seen it. This display revealed the truth. Hidden bases on every planet, weapon platforms throughout the asteroid belt, defense networks around every moon. This is just our home system, Park explained. We have been building defenses like this around every human colony for decades. Morrison activated another display. This one showed a map of the galaxy with thousands of red dots scattered across it. These are all the places where we have built hidden bases. We have been spreading through the galaxy for 50 years, always watching, always preparing. Caxon stared at the map. There were human bases near every major Zephyrian world. There were human outposts and systems his empire thought were empty. Humanity had been surrounding the Zephyrian Empire without them knowing it. "But that is impossible," Caxon said. "We would have detected your ships. We would have seen your colonies." "Would you?" Morrison asked. "You just spent 8 minutes fighting ships you thought were civilian cargo vessels. You attacked bases you believed were research stations. You never saw us because we did not want you to see us." Colonel Johnson pulled up another file. "Admiral, every world your empire has conquered has been visited by our agents. Every slave species you control has been contacted by our people. They all know that resistance is possible now." The implications hit Caxon like a physical blow. If humanity had been secretly contacting all the conquered worlds, if they had been building alliance networks throughout the galaxy, then the Zephyrian Empire was surrounded by potential enemies. Dr. Park activated one final display. This one showed technical specifications for human weapons that made Caxon's blood run cold. Planet killer missiles, Star Destroyer bombs, weapons that could make entire solar systems uninhabitable. "Admiral," she said quietly, "what you saw today was just our defensive capability. You do not want to see what our offensive weapons can do." Morrison walked to the window and looked out at the debris field that had once been the 3rd Imperial Legion. "Admiral Caxon, I want you to understand something very important. Earth is not looking for a war. We do not want to conquer your empire. We just want to be left alone." "But," Morrison continued, turning back to face the alien commander. If your empire insists on enslaving free people, if you continue to threaten peaceful worlds, then we will stop you. All of us. Every human colony, every hidden base, every secret weapon. Caxton realized that Morrison was not just speaking for Earth. He was speaking for a vast human civilization that had been growing in secret for decades. A civilization that was already more powerful than the Zephyrian Empire. Commander Davis handed Caxton a data crystal. This contains our complete intelligence files on your empire. Ship movements, military capabilities, economic data, everything. We want your leaders to understand exactly how much we know. Take this information back to your high command, Morrison said. Tell them what happened here. Tell them that humanity is watching. Tell them that the age of easy conquest is over. Dr. Park made one final adjustment to her equipment. Suddenly, space in front of the alien ship began to twist and bend. A wormhole opened up, leading directly back to Zephyrian space. We are giving you a free trip home, she said. This will take you directly to your capital world. The journey that took you months to make will take you 30 seconds. Caxton stared at the wormhole. The humans were casually demonstrating technology that his empire's best scientists said was impossible. They were creating stable wormholes like it was nothing. How? He whispered. We learned it from studying your crashed ships, Morrison replied. Then we made it better. Much better. The humans began walking back toward their shuttle. Morrison stopped at the airlock and turned around one last time. Admiral, when you get home, I want you to remember something. Today, you met humanity's local defense force. You saw what happens when someone threatens our home. But we have been preparing for more than just defense. Morrison's eyes grew cold. Every enslaved world in your empire knows we exist now. Every conquered people has hope now. If your empire chooses to fight us, you will not just be fighting Earth. You will be fighting every free person in the galaxy. The humans left the alien ship and returned to their shuttle. A few minutes later, Caxton's flagship was pushed through the wormhole by invisible forces. In 30 seconds, he traveled from Earth back to the Zephyrian homeworld. As soon as his ship arrived, emergency alarms began sounding. The Zephyrian High Command had been waiting for news of another easy conquest. Instead, they got the sole survivor of their greatest military disaster. Admiral Caxton transmitted his report to the Imperial Palace. He told them about the battle. He showed them the recordings. He explained how 49,999 ships had been destroyed in 8 minutes. When he finished, the Zephyrian Council sat in stunned silence. For the first time in their history, they had encountered a species that was stronger than they were. What do we do now? Asked the High Admiral. Caxton thought about Morrison's words. He thought about the hidden human bases throughout the galaxy. He thought about the enslaved worlds that now had hope for freedom. We pray, he said quietly, that the humans keep their word about not wanting a war, because if they change their minds, our empire is finished. In space around Earth, the human ships began to power down their weapons. The battle was over. The message had been sent. The galaxy would never be the same again. Humanity had announced itself to the universe, and the universe had learned to be afraid.